Good morning, or evening, or afternoon. So, here I am this morning. Of course, I have to fiddle with everything. So instead of relaxing, I'm sitting there thinking, oh, I should figure out how all this Facebook stuff ties into recording and stuff. Oh, I should go ahead and do the advanced scheduling for YouTube. Oh, I should do a million other things instead of what I'm supposed to be doing right here. So have I relaxed at all? This is why I do this in the mornings. Because regardless of anything else, it makes me stop fiddling. It makes me pick up my cards, take a breath, because I forget that now is when we should actually stop fiddling with software, stop doing everything else, take a breath, relax my shoulders, relax our shoulders, listen to the cards like they're the sounds of the ocean. And this is so much calmer than all the other 20 things I was doing at the exact same time. So, good morning out there. Evening, afternoon. Today, what is today? Today's Tuesday. Good start to the day. It's funny, I also sat down here. Maybe that's the vibrating I've been doing this morning, because I sat down and I'm like, I heard these noises because, I'm sitting next to a window. So I'm listening to these noises and I'm like, well, that's kind of disrupting. Then I realized they're birds. It's like 60 degrees outside. Again, another reason why we do this. If I hear the sounds of birds and I feel like they're disrupting something, I'm the one that's disrupted. So, let's see what we have for today. Let me have some gratitude here for taking a moment and having a reason to stop, listen to the birds. Go in a little bit, take a daily inventory, see where I'm at. Share it with other people, because that's what it is. It's just a daily inventory. But we have to be quiet a little bit. Again, relaxing our shoulders, taking that breath, treating the tarot like it's more like a diary. What is my diary for the day? See if the universe has anything for us. So, I'm going to make my 3 stacks. Each one of these is a different thread going out to the universe. Each one of these is a different conversation or a different thought. And if you believe in the multiverse, each one is a different path. Because whichever path we choose, we'll never know what the other 2 conversations were, what feelings those would have evoked. So I'm going to go with the heart today. I'm going to go with what's right in the center. I'm going to do my 3 in 1, and I'll flip them over one at a time like it's a book, so that we're reading them together, so that when I think I know exactly where things are going, I flip over the last card and it just changes everything. The 9 of Cups. So, cups are emotions, feelings. 9s are when we come to that end and we can finally kind of take a breath. I always say that numerology is a race. 1 is the beginning, 5 is the middle, 9 you win. 10 is what you do afterwards. So, some people also like to say he looks smug though. So it's one of those things where we come at the end. Nines are about fulfillment. But we also take an inventory of what it takes to get us here now, so that we can enjoy what we have. They also call it the wish card. So let's see what we have next. Well, that's a coincidence for the wish card. So sevens, potential, drive. Again, here we are with the cups, the spirituality. And the way that we look at this sometimes is that 7 of cups, it's one of those things where we're looking at all those things that are up there. We're at a 7. We look at the potentials in life. We look at all these things. We've gone through our race 1 through 5, 6, and then we come to 7. We wonder if we want to keep going on in the race, and sometimes we get distracted. So I call this the 80, the distraction card, because sometimes we end up looking at things that we wish we had, things that maybe not even taking advantage of the good things we do have, because all the good things that we have, we still sometimes wish for that relationship or that home or money or some type of victory, instead of being grounded. Instead of having our feet touching the ground, we're looking up at all those things we wish we could have. And then there's temperance, which is our major card. And when we have majors, we want to pay attention to it. So what I'm reading here so far is one of those things where it's about being grateful for where we are today. Here's a card about gratitude. We've got these things that we have accomplished, but there's a million things we haven't accomplished. The way I look at this is from the Helen Keller book that I had as a kid. I know it because I scribbled in it like I was 4 years old. I don't have very many things from when I was a child, but for whatever reason, this is one of the few things that has just stayed with me through the years. And in this book, Helen Keller pretty much says, and I'll paraphrase it, but she says that the average person can do something like 10,000 things. But because she was blind, mute, and she was deaf, she said she could only do 4,000 things. So she had realized that she could either curse God for the 6,000 things she couldn't do, or be grateful for the 4,000 things she could. And that's where we come to temperance, finding a balance, accepting where we are, looking at our place in the universe and saying, do I want to curse the universe for those things I don't have? Or do I want to find that balance with what I do and what I don't and say, you know what, I'm okay. So this is the advice card. The advice card is the 13th card. Which is about transitions, death. Because things never stay the same. But we can fight it. So again, it's one of those things where we accept where we are. We can dream all we want, but let's not forget about where we came from. We take a breath. We find that acceptance. And we realize that no matter what we wish, things change. It's the Wheel of Fortune, you know. When you're going down at the bottom, you're saying, I once ruled. Then you go up here, I will reign. You come to the top. He says, I reigned. And then he's coming back down again. And it's that permanent cycle. That's what the original Wheel of Fortune, paraphrasing it, but the original Wheel of Fortune would say. We're on the top, we're on the bottom. So today, it's about, we have these cups. Look at this. We still have cups. So this is about emotional and spiritual. This is about emotional and spiritual and looking up and saying, but I wish something made me feel a different way. If I only had this, then I would feel this. But it's about being satisfied with where we are and accepting that no matter where we are, things are going to change. And to accept the change with a grace, a balance, and acceptance. Temperance is about acceptance. Temperance is saying, in life, we don't want too much. We don't want too little. We accept where we are. And we find a balance with the universe. So, this is almost a melancholy kind of reading. Because, again, this card here, it's that race. It's about fulfillment. And yet, sometimes we lose things. And we wish for what we used to have. Or we wish what we could have. But that's not reality. The reality is, just like temperance, this is totally grounded card. As we can see, 1 foot in our emotions and the feelings, 1 foot on the ground, solid. And here we have our cups as we find our balance. It's about acceptance and change. So today, we just need to remember that change happens. That change is good. Because even though with the death card it feels like it's going to be tough, it's like ripping off a Band-Aid. It's like the Wheel of Fortune. I reigned, I once reigned. You go around, I will rule again, no matter what. But the death card is absolutely about transition, moving from one phase to another. Things can't always stay like this. But it doesn't mean that it's always going to be bad either. But just wishing something to be better doesn't always make it happen. It's when we're grounded and we find that acceptance when things have to change. So today it's about being grounded and accepting change. Wow, that slowed me down, didn't it? So once again, thank you for everything today. Thank you for helping me slow down, because this was absolutely me now that we're sitting here talking about it. I wished I could have got a million things done. And look at that focus. That sucks on this camera. Wish I was getting a million things done, not getting the things done that I wanted. Because my life's not that bad, is it? But doing the cards is when I finally gained all that acceptance, right? And that slowing down and accepting that this camera just does not have very good autofocus. And once I gain that acceptance, then I can allow the transition to happen. Because nothing stops transition. We just have to learn to accept it. And just realize things. One door doesn't close without another one opening, but it's hard to realize sometimes. So, with that, another breath, another relaxing of the shoulders. And I'm going to go forth. I'm going to go forth unto work and make things happen. I will see you again tomorrow. Thanks again.